The flight had just taken off when 16-year-old Amina began to sweat and clutch her chest, her breath growing. Shallow as panic crept in, she reached into her backpack and pulled out a small inhaler. But before she could use it, a white flight attendant stormed over, snatched it from her hand, and barked. "You can't use that here, unless it's declared." Amina tried to explain it was her asthma medication that she'd used on every flight before, but the attendant accused her of sneaking drugs and tossed the inhaler into the trash, despite passengers pleading with her to stop. Amina's breathing worsened, her lips turned pale, and her body trembled as she collapsed onto the floor. Chaos erupted. People screamed for help, while the crew fumbled cluelessly and refused to make an emergency landing, but they had no idea who they were dealing with. Amina's father, seated silently in first class, had been watching it all unfold, holding back his fury and hoping they'd do the right thing. But when his daughter lost consciousness, he calmly stood up, pulled out his ID, and handed it to the captain. Within minutes, the plane began to descend. Emergency lights flickered, and the control tower was alerted because Amina's father wasn't just any passenger, he was a senior FAA official and former Air Force commander with full authority to reroute any commercial flight for health violations. When the plane landed, fire crews and federal agents were already waiting the flight. Attendant was immediately placed under investigation, and Amina was rushed to the hospital stable, but shaken. The story went viral within hours. A passenger's recording of the moment the inhaler was thrown away ignited outrage across the country. Hashtags like #Justice for Amina and #Flying While Black flooded the internet as people demanded answers and policy change. The airline issued a public apology, but it wasn't enough. Amina's father made sure new federal guidelines were implemented within months, requiring mandatory medical sensitivity training for all U.S. flight crews and legal consequences for denying life-saving treatment on board. The world learned a painful but necessary lesson that day: never underestimate the quiet strength of a father or the storm he'll bring when his child's life is treated like trash.